Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody.
I am Alex Reevy, along with the HD hottie across from me, Sandy Reevy. She already said hi, so let's get right into it. This is episode 106, and it is August 3rd here in the Evanston Sanctuary. So let's get right into the transits. We have today, Monday, August 3rd, full moon in Aquarius.
Right, so show your freak flag.
Same day, Mercury opposing Saturn retrograde.
Stand corrected if you need to.
Tuesday, August 4th, Mars square Jupiter retrograde.
Overwhelmed.
Same day, Mercury ingress Leo.
Are we happy and more lively yet?
Friday, August 7th, Venus ingress Cancer.
Making emotional connections.
And next Monday, August 10th, Mercury square Uranus.
Busy or dizzy?
Then Talisman time, Sandy has finished up two very special to be proud of a creation and to be proud. Then on the horizon, we have lots of online opportunities for you to connect with the stars, with chatting with the stars, as well as a worldwide metaphysical tribe. Then in our house, Sandy and I are going to discuss our human design event with Baeth Davis and teach you a little bit of what we learned. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions. And the search ends here, where the night is totally clear, and your heart is fierce, and so you finally know you control where you go. Hello, HD hottie, and by that I mean human design hottie.
Oh, I was like, HD, is that like television?
Both. You're a television hottie and a human design hottie. So, and that's something that we're going to talk about in our house today, because we're just, getting off that wave of our Baeth Davis Team on Purpose event that we sponsored, and we have so much to talk about.
It is deep.
Yes.
Human design.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So before we get into all of this, I wanted to go direct to you all. Thank you so much for all of your emails, your feedback, your reviews. Of course, one is never enough. Keep them coming. So going direct, we have a message from Mika Norgard. He's a yoga teacher and energy guide in Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. So listen to this. I love this. During my reading, there was a lot of confirmation that I was on my right path. But even more interesting was hearing that there was a quote-unquote princess inside of me that needed nurturing. Something I knew deep down inside, but needed to hear it from the stars. Now, nurturing that part of me has made me feel very, very complete and balanced.
Wow.
So get that princess crown on. I love it.
Yeah. And it's also, goddess power, right? It's we all actually have it. Right. But to have it be so tangible and to express it in a certain way is key.
Right.
For
and I think
some
that
people versus others.
Even to be able to resonate with the other, gender or, the opposite gender, depending on, what type of scale you're at. I think that's really important, because when we can reach to the other side and know that we do have that nourishment, we need that nourishment from those different parts of ourselves.
It's true.
And when we talk about the princess, there is an innocence to it. The princess hasn't necessarily, matured into her queen self yet, but there is that really wonderful naivety, and for us to kind of be in that playful, imaginary, explorative state is really cool. So thanks, Mika, for reaching out. I love that. I love that share. So Okay, moving into the transits, we have a really awesome week, and we taught you a little bit about it last week in the podcast. So we're going to start back again for today, Monday, August 3rd. It's the full moon in Aquarius. So get those princess tiaras on, get the prince tiara on too, and let your freak flag fly.
This is actually the full moon at 11 degrees of Aquarius, which already says show your differences, right? Show your uniquenesses. And the modern ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, and it's in a direct square. There's a aspect here that says, watch disruption, yet be bold, Leo, different, Aquarius. And be in that parade, be in front, wave that flag, but watch for disruption. Don't disrespect anyone else, because that could be that. That's
also so hard to do too, when you're really trying to be and have this sense of individuality and, self-empowerment. I think sometimes you have to detach from that worry of disrupting others. I think that there needs to be and have a maintained sense of respect.
I agree that we've got the square to Uranus. So this is just a little bit more sensitive in the timing.
Interesting.
So I'm not trying to say always be limiting in your uniqueness or being worried or careless. I'm not saying either one of those. I'm just saying this particular full moon has the ruler of the moon in modern rulership.
Right.
Square it to the two luminaries.
Okay.
So, just kind of
be aware.
Be aware and enjoy it in your own kind of private way. You don't have to be in anyone's face. That's what I'm kind of talking about. Like screaming at people and arguing and getting angry because your uniqueness, you're trying to express, expose, whatever. And others are like trying to move away.
Enjoy it
and you
fully
follow
yourself.
them. Right. Like do it for you only.
Right. Enjoy it fully yourself and
because
for yourself.
This energy is for everybody. So everybody so if somebody doesn't like something, they have every right to say, I don't care for that. I'm moving on. Don't go after them in their face. Right. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And so same day today, Monday, August 3rd, Mercury opposing Saturn retrograde.
So stand corrected. We got Saturn is in its own domicile. It's retrograde, but it's retrograde for 5 months out of the year. Slow down your mouth. Maybe just write something down so that you can reframe it. Don't babble on. Get really clear and understand what you put out. Because the better way you deliver the message has a more Saturn long-term effect. So you really want to it's a square, right? So we don't want to just say something that we might regret later. So, but it's also stand corrected, meaning, oh, my bad. I shouldn't have said that a little bit ago.
Right. Well, this is so interesting for me because how this is translating for me is I'm trying to learn a new language and I have to stand corrected a lot. So this could also be a chance and an opportunity to open up the door to learning that new language and being willing to stand there and say, like, I'm going to have the courage to try and say this in a completely different language, but also have the flexibility and the, permeability to say, was that right?
Well, and if we remember that Mercury rules not just our speech, but it also our thinking and what we study and what we bring into the mind. So this could be a really good time to, go into a class, a course, a study of some sort, right? Where you have to pick up that book, that research book, or you have to, review some things. This is really nice time to kind of get your mind wrapped around things that you need to relearn or stand corrected.
Right. Cool. So Tuesday, August 4th, we have 2 transits. The first one, Mars square Jupiter retrograde.
This happens at 8:07 tomorrow morning or on Tuesday. Overwhelmed. Now, let's just pick this apart. And this is Mars in Aries. Its domicile, very dignified here. Square Jupiter in Capricorn, where he has been since last December, in retrograde. So, this Jupiter is not, it's in its fall, because it has a debilitative sense.
It's kind of weak right now.
It's weak, and it's double weak because it is retrograde. And here we got Mars in a square. Now, this is the first of 3. Hello. Do we hear this? This will last until January 23rd.
Yeah, and we've been kind of priming all of the listeners, too, for this, Mars energy that's going to be coming in. And, his first victim is Jupiter in retrograde right now.
Yeah, and so I want to give you, today's date, of course, is August 4th. This meets back up October 19th.
Well, this transit day is August 4th, yes.
Right, the second time this comes in, but Mars now is retrograde. So Mars isn't as strong. But to me, that means it's going to reconnect in maybe a relook or a review of something that's coming up right around now. Right, it's Mars energy. And then by the time we get to the pass in January 23rd, Mars has moved into the next sign before it squares Jupiter. And at this point, Mars is in the next sign, which is Taurus, and Mars is now in detriment. So now the last pass, Mars does not have the say. And Jupiter has moved into the next sign where he is no longer in his fall, and where he is in Capricorn right now. He moves into Aquarius, where he has really no dignity or debilitating.
Right.
So he's
just
in
it for the party. Yeah.
He's in it. So really, Mars can be really forceful here, but retrograde, not as forceful. Square Jupiter. So really,
forceful in place too, because when you think about it, Taurus, the sign is fixed Earth. So, even though Mars might not have the trudge forward and keep moving, it's now kind of transitioning into this really hard, big rock.
It wants results. It wants results. So it's okay, whatever we're doing from August through end of January, and this is just kind of interesting. This is January 23rd. We have the inauguration days before. So it just says that there's more tangible results here. And it might be hard, square, but we got to get them done. Now, let's just talk about today's energy. It's
August
that overwhelmed
4th's energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about August 4th. Yeah, sorry. How can you prioritize in order what comes first and second on this list? Because I don't know that you can do, a whole lot, just really focused on the top priorities here. Because, the next few times you'll have a lot of energy around this, but let's make sure it's productive energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then same day, August 4th, we have Mercury ingress Leo, aka Mercury is now moving from Cancer into Leo.
Yeah, because Mercury always revolves around the sun, and the sun's in Leo, so Mercury is nearby.
Yeah, shortly thereafter.
This is at 10:32 p.m. Are we happy and more lively?
Let's hope so.
Because, first of all, Mercury has been in the sign prior, the Cancer, since the end of May. Now, let's just pause here and wrap our heads around this. And hopefully you're not driving, because I want you to wrap your head around. Mercury, the quick planet of messengers, right, has been in one sign. And of course, it went into a shadow, went into retrograde, went into shadow, and has now just last week started moving forward. so it's been in this Cancer sign from the end of May 29th to be exact, all the way through June, entire July, and now moves into a new sign here on August 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's his travel. This month alone, and we're already at August 4th.
Right.
He will move from one sign, Leo, into the next sign, Virgo, and into the next sign, Libra, in this month.
Well, and don't forget about the first few days of August. He was in Cancer, so technically that's 4 different signs.
That's a good point.
Wow.
So just think how fast he's moving now. And so it's like, yeah, we've been bored, or we think that the messages. So it's really more about
it's a pick-me-up.
The emotional state that it's been in gets to increase a little bit in this fire placement.
Cool.
So what has been brewing gets a chance to dramatically express maybe a yes over these next 15 days while it is in Leo. How speedy and loud and bold can you get? So let's just watch people's speed and thoughts and what it is they say and how bold they might feel. But it should bring in some like pep up.
Right. Some quick tempo.
Mm-hmm.
And so Friday, August 7th, we have Venus ingress Cancer. So now Mercury just moved out of Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Venus is now stepping in.
Good point. This is at 10:21 a.m. And you're making now emotional connections because Venus is connections. Venus is, money, love, beauty, art, marriage, whatever. Mm-hmm. Moved into the sign of emotional water, cardinal sign. So, this Venus has been in, let's talk about that. So just so we can get a sense of newness.
Yeah, and
kind
the big
of
picture.
coming in. Yeah.
Yes.
So now Venus has been in the sign prior to Cancer, which is Gemini, right?
Right.
And she's been in there since April 4. Okay?
Yeah, that's a while.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then she went retrograde. And then she stationed. And then she moved forward and she still was in shadow. And so she has been in this one sign of Cancer that she finally gets out of after 3.5 months. So where Venus wants to, it's in Gemini, think, solve, figure out, make rational sense. Venus now just gets to go into like the lovely place, the artist place. She feels more at, it's not, she doesn't rule Cancer.
No, but it's also kind of pleasurable.
She gets to be more alive. Where, any of the lessons that Venus has learned over these last 3 months, she gets to apply to the like sensitive personal lives.
Mm-hmm.
So, you should start feeling that as applying what you've learned, particularly during, that Venus retrograde period, and allow this gentleness to kind of
soften,
envelop you.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So then next week, Monday, August 10th, we have Mercury square Uranus. Busy or dizzy?
Right. That was easy to come up with, right? It's a square. This happens at 7:52 in the morning. We'll remind you again next Monday. But we wanted to give you this heads up because this might be that Sunday night prior to this. You may not sleep really well. Because this Uranus is getting ready to retrograde in this weekend, actually, or the next weekend, the Monday, the 15th. So Uranus is slowing down. A planet always has to slow down, whether it's going retrograde or going direct. But this aspects makes me think that you're going to go somewhere, but where?
Right.
Where do you think you're going? Well, and it's like just maybe you are in one place going round in circles. And that's why it's like busy doing thinking, seeing, driving, biking, and then square to oh my God, I'm going around circles. I'm not doing anything.
Right.
I'm just a whirly twirly ball.
And as a quick aside, because I know we'll talk more about this in our house, one of the main things that stuck out to me over the Team on Purpose event was you can do anything, but you can't do everything. And that to me just totally resonates with this, Mercury square Uranus is like, oh my gosh, there's so much to get done. And it's kind of this exciting moment. And I have those. When I look at a really long list, I can like try and rev myself up being like, wow, like I'm going to get all this stuff done. And then there is, the challenge sometimes of like, wow, like I just don't have the time, the resources, or, and then I find out later like, oh, maybe I am just dizzy. So
round and round and round.
Right.
Which if we follow the beginning of the week, on Tuesday the 4th, I mentioned that, Mars is square Jupiter. So just do the two first on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get overwhelmed.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. And cool. I like that. We'll talk later. So, okay. So moving on to talisman times, you have finished up 2 talismans you made Wednesday, July 29th. And these they're very
close.
Similar. Yeah.
And, well, they're close together.
Right.
And I really did I had to break up the sessions. So I wanted to, because I had to go and do something else that I wanted to not
kind of delineate between them.
Between the two, because I had a different start time.
Right. Okay, so the first one is to be proud of a creation.
To be proud of a creation. I take my bow as a humble creator. I deserve this notoriety, recognition, and public visibility. I shine my light. Now, this is the second sun in Leo. This is what's called a solar talisman.
Cool.
We've got the sun coming up in Leo, rising up over the horizon. This is a sunrise chart, which is
that's
solar.
Like let your shine.
Fresh,
let your light
shine
shine.
my light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it's really about, and it's trying to the moon, or I should say the moon. You always talk about the fastest planet moving and trining the slower moving planet, but not how I wrote it here. So, yeah, this is just a really nice, be proud of a creation, product, an idea, a book, a thought, a business, something, a meal, right? Just, you could change this up, right? It doesn't have to be for one creation.
Right. And it doesn't even have to be where, it warrants a compliment. Like, you don't have to wait for the compliment. You can just let that light shine and just be like kind of, giddy, like, oh, I made these cookies for you. Like,
and
there was no compliment.
To yourself. Well, no, I mean, what if you did look in the mirror and take a bow as the humble creator to yourself?
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, I might divulge something here. I do this.
Is it yours to divulge?
No, I do this. Like in the morning, like when I know I have whether I have a big day or have a, whatever, a prep day. Mm-hmm. And I'm brushing my teeth. I'm getting ready for them in the morning. I'm in my bathroom. I've made my bed. I'm dressed for the day, which is always in like yoga clothes.
Yeah.
But regardless,
cash and cute.
I changed from pajamas into a daily outfit. It might have been yesterday's outfit too.
The daily pajamas.
But I'm out. I get out of my lounge pajama wear.
Right. No, that's important.
And I'll throw on whatever lipstick that I have upstairs that I'm trying to get rid of.
Right.
Because I don't wear my good lipstick, my favorite, to be around in the house. And I pull my hair up in a thing, and I'll put on some oil, and I'll put on some lotion in my face. And right before I'm turning the light off, because I've got this one whole wall of mirror, I look at myself in the mirror. It makes me want to cry now. I look at myself in the mirror, and before I'm ready to just extinguish the light, I look right at myself and say, I'll tell you how it went tonight.
Aw.
Every day.
That's awesome.
And I always get up, at the end of the day for my, my evening triage, and look at myself when I turn the light on and go, oh my gosh, here's what happened today. It went really well. I was kind of stressed out about that. I didn't know what I was going to say there. I didn't have and I look at myself and go, well, here you are. Did you think about it after you said, I'll tell you how it went? Did you think about how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? It's 2 o'clock. How's it going? It's like, it's 2 o'clock. The ghost ain't here. 3 o'clock. The ghost ain't here. Like, you don't think about that, right?
Right.
And
you're just checking in twice daily.
And I go to the mirror and I go, oh my God, I can't believe it's over. It went really well. And I can say that I'm going to say 99.9% of the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's so nice. And I love those moments that I do, give myself just a pause in front of the mirror and give myself a smile as if I were smiling at somebody that, I just wanted to be pleasant towards. And it is. It's a little mind shift because it makes you feel a little giggly inside or like silly, a little, a little silly, but it's fun and it's with yourself. And if you can't have fun with yourself, like, can you really have fun with others?
But think about this. I'm really listen to me when I talk today. I don't know what's going on. But when we look in a mirror, we see the opposite of us, right? The left is on the right and the right's on the left. And, it's just like looking at an x-ray. I'm so used to this, right? And there are a few, I think they're called theater mirrors, that reflect the exact placement so that you know what your audience is looking at, right? And I've looked in one before. Weird.
Is it?
Yeah. And so my point is, when you look in a mirror, it's the reflection that you're so used to.
Right.
But it's not what other people see.
Right.
And so when you can get used to that, because what you're looking at is not what you see of me, right? Mm-hmm. So it just is like your own connection to yourself.
Oh, I see what you mean. Very cool.
Right? And so that you're the only person that can look like that to you.
Absolutely.
Because you're looking back at the reflection of you. It's a woo-woo.
It is woo-woo.
Okay. I don't know. It's not even cocktail time.
Nope. So moving on, you finished up that same day, just a little bit later, to be proud. Tell me about this talisman.
My values have established my role I play in the world. I create my new form. Now, this one slightly different because at this point, the ascendant had moved into 23 degrees of Leo, and that way it brought in that Venus in the 11th house. And we know that in talisman making, 11th house is a good fortune house. So anytime you can get a planet in the 11th house that reflects the first house, it's a sextile. Very nice. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I brought in the Venus, and Venus just coming out of her shadow here was like, my values have established my role. In other words, my new values. But I didn't change it I didn't use the word new values because they're just my values. Mm. Yeah. And they're always in ebb and flow and flux, right? Always striving for that, betterment of self. So my values have established my role I play in the world. I create my new form. Mm-hmm. I create my new form.
On top of this really brilliant foundation.
Yeah, because I get to see again. Venus has been in shadow, retrograde shadow, and finally coming out. And in reflection to the sun in Leo. Mm-hmm. So it says, do you feel bad? Do you feel different, Venus? Show yourself. What are your new loves and values of self-worth?
Right.
So I really like this one. And
I love
to be
that
proud.
too. Yeah. And I think that's so important too, because when there's somebody who is proud, it's also this just air of confidence, and confidence is so key.
It's the aura we put out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that authentic confidence, because we all can kind of sniff out the BS sometimes. So anyway, the upcoming talismans are going to be a mystery.
Well, only because I got so busy.
Yes.
I know I've got some Talisman times to do on 8th, 9th, and 10th. But I haven't had a chance. I have to do meditation around writing them. Because I have to like go into the chart to figure out who's talking to who and what the message is so that I can write the story, which then is the affirmation and the intention.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes, give us a little bit more time on that and you'll see the talismans that Sandy will be making on Instagram. And that is at Intention Beads. You can search for us and you can head to our website if you aren't really sure about how to do that. So
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
When you tell me that we have the Instagram Intention Beads, right? How come you bring in at?
Well, because it's the tag. So, I mean, you can also say our intention or our Instagram handle is Intention Beads.
That's what I say.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I was afraid I had to write at.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah. And I only say that because I don't know why. I probably don't need to. So thanks for correcting me on that.
Stand corrected.
Yes, I'm standing corrected.
You're actually sitting corrected.
I'm sitting corrected. So moving on to the horizon, we have some online events that will be really cool to dive into. And mainly it's our webinars. Our webinars have been really amazing to not only educate you on what's going on astrologically, but there is for just an extra $5, you can figure out how are you in this matrix? How do you fit into this little puzzle piece that we're discussing? And the upcoming one is August 12th, so next week. And this is the planets and politics.
Hold on.
So this will be interesting stuff.
I mean, daughter, hold on. Right? Like, yes, that's the title. And what? I'm going to talk politics. And the only reason why I agreed to this topic with Susan Goodell is we're just going to talk about the astrology of it.
Well, and you're going to keep it unbiased and just talking. Yeah.
It's hard to keep unbiased. I'm guessing. I mean, I know. Not to lean. However, the only way was to talk about the astrology of it.
Right.
We're not making any predicaments.
There will be plenty of predicaments. I'll go ahead and say that.
But really interesting, some of the things that we're putting together in the slides and the zodiacal releasings and the inauguration day. We've got that chart going up. We got the convention days going up. And I think Susan has decided, even though I thought, well, of course we're going to show, Trump and Biden's chart, right? And she was like, no, but now she's like, I think we need to.
Yeah, I think that would be just interesting information.
It's an hour, and that is Wednesday, August 12th. We always go, the Wednesdays, we go 5:30 to 6:30, and that is Central Time.
And then there's even an option to personalize it even more. And you don't necessarily need to have your, the optional chart, with your order to be a part of it. All you have to do is sign up for a 30-minute one-on-two with Sandy and Susan, where they go into your chart and they can tell you very specifically what's going on and, how you fit into all of it. Yeah,
we only have one slot left.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So then August 15th and 16th, Sandy and I are going to be, Sandy's going to be a speaker at the Worldwide Metaphysical Tribe. This is now an online virtual conference that they're having, but this always used to be an in-person.
Yeah, here in Illinois.
Right. And so the tickets are $67. I'm hearing that you get a swag bag and you get, these things. So you need to register early for that in order to receive it on time. And the link is in the description if you want to learn more about this Worldwide Metaphysical Tribe. There's going to be psychics talking. There's going to be different doctors and more on the,
metaphysical side.
Yeah, metaphysical side and the Eastern medicine.
And actually it's from 10 to 2 Central on both days. It's Saturday
and Sunday,
the 15th, and Sunday the 16th. I think I talk on Saturday, but it doesn't matter when I talk. You know me. You know me.
Yes, we do.
But from 10 to 2, that's not all day, which makes it a little easier and more like palatable.
Right. Then August 19th, we have our monthly community check-in. This is free and open to all. Just make sure you RSVP in the link in the description, and I will be sending you the Zoom link so that it is, private, not anyone's just going to be popping in and out.
And we don't record these.
No, we don't. And August 29th, we have our September astrology forecast. And this is our Facebook Live event. That's probably what you know it as. And it is Sandy and Susan on Facebook Live. This is, again, another free event we're hosting. And this is to have all of the upcoming astrological dates in September. Again, this event is happening August 29th to give you the forecast of what's going on astrologically.
For September. We've been doing this since we kind of got the lockdown.
Right.
And
well, we've been doing it once a month. We've been doing this for years.
Right. But once a month. That's where I meant to qualify. And
we used to do this in front of a live audience too.
We used to do other things, and we're going to say we used to do that, what we're doing now in the future.
And it's always ebbing and flowing, and we're always changing. And, that's probably just going to be how our company goes, because you and I are both Pisces.
Just going with the flow, staying adrift.
Yeah. Floating on down the river. So,
wow. Yeah. Let's get into our house.
Okay. Yes. Moving into our house.
Oh, Sandy, I just said that. I thought it here and it came out there.
Right. You said it there and
I said it here and you thought to say it and you didn't.
So, yes, let's talk about the Baeth Davis event. And so if you haven't been hearing us talk about this Team on Purpose event, we're just pretty much closing up with it. And it was just really wonderful. Wow. What I really liked about it is that it wasn't just about like human design or astrology or I Ching. It was like really integrated with business and career. And I just
entrepreneurship.
Yeah, entrepreneurship. So we literally were surrounded by other spiritual entrepreneurs or mindful entrepreneurs who are looking to take the next step. And a lot of them are looking because they're overwhelmed. It's overwhelming. There's so much work, and I'm totally speaking from experience. Is that it's hard to, when you have all these responsibilities, it's hard to give them up to somebody else, if you were to make a hire. So we talked a lot about that. And so tell me what you thought about the event.
Well, one of her speakers, I was the sponsor, the only sponsor, was about mission statements.
Right. Leslie Ann
Huntington from Scotland. And
we're both terrible at that.
You think we don't watch enough? Oh, maybe I don't watch enough Outlander.
Yeah,
I'm
you need to watch
it for
it
the fourth time.
Yeah, the fourth time through.
And here's what I want to practice. This is what you and I put together. Let's see if we like this.
Oh, yeah. So, well, give them a little background story. So basically what Leslie Ann was doing is she was taking everyone through either creating a mission statement or taking the mission statement that you currently had and giving it a little nip tuck.
Yeah, picking it apart. There were 3 things. Is that what you want me to do? Go over them? The first thing you have to do is list what value you create for your customers.
Right.
Second thing, who are your customers? Third thing, under what conditions do you work together?
Oh, and there was a fourth thing.
There is.
Less than 15 words.
Yeah.
So it was a challenge to keep it that short. And so you and I were working kind of like
separate.
Right.
And then we combined, and I liked yours better.
Yes. My Mercury and Aquarius got it right. So can you say what our mission statement was, the first one? Is it on there?
You mean my first one?
No, what our original one.
It's on our website right now?
Yeah. Yes.
We believe in everyone's unique potential to change, grow, and live with intention.
Still a good one.
I loved
good.
It.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we had our vision statement, which goes underneath that, and I like it, but we won't confuse right now.
Okay.
So here's what, well, we might have combined our finals of the other day, but it's mostly leaning to yours.
Okay, so
here's our new one.
New and improved.
Although Leslie did say she wants to talk to me, so I'll see what she means by that.
Right.
We deliver astrological guidance and talismans to passionate individuals looking for a focused connection to their greatest intention.
Boom.
Shakalaka. Like, I like that. That's actually way clearer.
It's way clearer. Then now go back to our original.
We believe in everyone's unique potential to change, grow, and live with intention. Well, it doesn't say...
It doesn't say what we do. It doesn't talk
say
about
who we serve.
Who. Yes.
And it doesn't say, like, what's our product. Like, we say astrological guidance, so we know that that's a service. Mm-hmm. And we say, and talismans, we know that that's a product. And we deliver that. Mm-hmm. To who? Passionate individuals that want to do what? That are looking for a focused connection to their greatest intention.
Passionate
individuals. Shakalaka.
Yes. Because if there's one thing about, our tribe is that people are really, there is passion. If they haven't even figured out their purpose yet, they're passionate about figuring it out.
And something.
Right. They're looking for it.
Yeah. It's like if you love being a bookkeeper and you hate being a manager, maybe you're the bookkeeper. Mm-hmm. And you teach other people how to bookkeep, and you run your own company as a bookkeeper for other businesses that don't like doing it. Mm-hmm. Although human design has a whole blending, so it is baffling.
It is, and it's funny because I bet you that when somebody looks at a human design chart that doesn't know it well, it's kind of like somebody looking at an astrology chart that doesn't know it well.
Probably.
And
so I'm humbled here looking at this going, what? And I've seen this. I've been hanging out with Beth for 3 or so years.
Right. And so if you haven't seen the human design chart, it kind of looks like somebody with their, kind of in a meditation pose, a seated, cross-legged meditation pose with their head looking to the right, and then all of these triangles and shapes with a bunch of lines and different colored lines and numbers
that are gates, channels, and
so it's really interesting.
Colored in, and some aren't colored in, and some are open, and some are closed, and
apparently this whole entire thing, which includes astrology, chakras, I Ching. What else does it integrate? I forget, but it was a download that happened to a human
in 1987,
right? In the 80s. Yeah. So it is kind of new, but what is cool about it is that it kind of is this integration of all of these, ancient type of things. So, regardless, it's just a really interesting tool to use and to experience.
Can I talk about one of my favorite things I learned about the human design?
Yeah.
My Mars in a 1-4.
So your design Mars.
Yeah. That I'm full of ideas. I'm creative, useful, but I need to be in reality. But the 4 is about telling the story.
Right. You're the storyteller.
That I'm the
and I'm the production.
And you're production.
Which is so true.
It's so funny because, my affirmations, and one of the things I did I'm like, I'm going to talk about story. If that's what my design says.
And you're so good at storytelling. Like, you can sit there and tell me a 15-minute story of your decision making about what you were thinking about either cooking or grilling or sauteing, and I'll literally sit there for 15 minutes listening. And I've become a little bit more savvy because I know that
It's going to go on.
It's going to keep going on.
Because I'm going to tell you about what happened at the grocery or what I was thinking or the phone call I got while I was in the cookbook.
If I try to do that, I lose people 5 words in and I see it in their faces. Like, it's just, it's terrible. But yes, you're a storyteller. I'm production.
Right. You're like marketing. Yeah. Yeah. You're production.
Right. So I like, creating things, and I take a lot of the pictures. I do all the videography. I edit I do the copywriting and, a little bit of the website coding when I can, or at least the planning of it.
And that's called our desk work.
Right.
So at my desk, the work that I should be doing is writing stories. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't write books, but I write a ton of
affirmations. And you delineate the charts.
Yeah. And so I can go into anyone's chart and come up with a story.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
and you when you're telling it, it just makes so much sense, and it's so easy to connect with. Yeah. So
what is yours? What was your favorite?
Well, I loved the practicality, because even though I wasn't, you've been around human design way longer than I have. So this was like the first time for me stepping into it, and trust, like, I had the not stupid questions, because they're great questions, but unproductive questions of like, well, where does this come from? And what does the profile 6-3 mean? I was, trying to look a little bit too far into it and try and figure it out, and like how this download happened. But instead, I tried to take a step back from that and just kind of sponge the basics and the ideas. And when I didn't understand something, I didn't let myself stress out about it. And I really listened to just like the practical advice, because what I really admire about Baeth Davis is that she's a great businesswoman, and she's sharp, and she's still tactful, and what the message I heard loud and clear for me was that I can do anything, but I can't do everything. And I've even coined myself the do-it-aller. And as soon as I was like, you know what? Like, I really need to start realizing this, because I'm the graphic designer, I'm the videographer, I'm the video editor, I'm the blog writer, I'm the social media manager, and
you're now a podcast producer.
I'm the podcast producer. So it is a lot. And I recognize that, like, even though that there are people that can juggle 20 balls in the air in the circus, I'm not one of those when it comes to the business.
What she's saying is you're not supposed to.
Right. I'm not supposed to. Because
no one is supposed to.
No one's supposed to. That's totally right. And what she's been saying is, you think you're saving yourself money by doing it yourself, by DIYing. And it's quite the opposite. Because what you're doing is you're spending so much time to train yourself and kind of try to become an expert in all of these different areas, that you're totally missing out on your own genius. And I thought that was really interesting that she was using those words, because that is a great question for us to ask. So we don't have to be Albert Einstein geniuses, but like, what is your genius? Like, because Albert Einstein wasn't also trying to be like,
social,
a famous flautist. He wasn't trying to like play the flute and like do all of these crazy different things, or a hairstylist. We all know for sure he was not trying to be a hairstylist. So, that's
the funniest thing you've said this week.
Oh, great. I'm sure like my whole life. So, it's like, what is our genius? And that was just a really interesting, proposition for me, because it's like, I am so good at so many different things, but where is my expertise? So I'm still exploring that one. I'm still juggling around the idea of like, bringing, like, who could I bring on? What would they be in control over on my list of things to do, where I could just be like, I trust you, you can do this, and take it away. So
right. And really, I hope the two women that won, I saw them there the whole weekend.
Right.
And a few, we had some other attendees that we know that came in through us. And one of them won something.
Right. The giveaway.
Right? Yeah.
The raffle.
She won the giveaway. But I really think I've been hearing from some of them on the, typing me, like they're really a lot of information, a lot of processing, but understanding it and maybe having different views on, I've been doing this because this is what I've been doing for 15 years. My human design says I'm supposed to be more management and not. So.
Right. And that was another thing. The Jupiter, which was more about like the business structure.
Yeah. Who your allies and affiliates are.
Right. And so you were a 2, which is partnership.
Yeah.
And I was a 6, which is kind of like
the mystery.
The mystery.
Yeah. Bringing in like the entire
masses.
Well, it's bigger. No, 5 is the masses.
Oh, what?
6 was the mastery. It was the
mystic.
The mystic. Yeah.
So I'm in charge of like the globe and the different realms. That would
cosmic.
Be cool. But I think that was really interesting because, and the 6 was also like the system breaker. They were the one to take things that have been, going on for a long time and the traditions and things like that, and introducing a new way of thinking things, improving things. And so
create content of spiritual systems.
So yeah, very interesting.
Watch out for Alex.
Watch out.
And interesting because when she said, finding for me, theme of your business team is partnerships. And the fact that my last big business, my She Beads business, I was sole person and delegated all my 40 employees down from there. Right. But I did. I had my accountant. I had my this. I had my all
CFO. You had everybody.
CFO, all my managers, my shipping supervisor, my bead makers,
and you need that in place. And so
I had my stringers. Listen, there was a position I had 8 professional.
You had clay
stringers.
cutters. Yeah. You had clay cutters.
Millefiori
artists.
Yeah. I had core bead rollers. Oh my God. I made up titles. But anyway, my point is that when she said partnerships in this business, Intention Beads, finding your, we just started affiliate program. And everyone we've asked, we're starting.
We've been
small.
very selective. Yes.
And the few we've asked have immediately said yes.
Yeah. I'm at 5 out of 5.
Yeah. And so we're really proud of that. And so that and that's probably too why Beth described that anyone that has a 2 and is a partner they talk to people like my clients. When I'm on a reading with you, it's me and you, sister.
Oh,
it's me and you, brother. It's me and you. We are connected and we are together as peers.
But I even also saw that in your past business, She Beads, because you knew every single one of your clients. Even if you did a annual trunk show in, let's just say, Bumble, Kentucky, you still remembered that customer, even when they would
bought.
Throw in an online order. You would be like, oh no, I actually know her wrist size. It needs to be a little bit smaller. Her, she's got a dog. So we need to make sure that, I don't know. But you just would remember these. I do remember so vividly that I was just like, who are you?
Your mother.
Because for me,
and now your business partner.
No, trust me, I'm very happy that you do, because everyone feels so seen, so supported, and in partnership with you.
And that's what when that dropped in, and because Beth said it's not just about your business partner or your intimate partner. It's everybody you meet. You can immediately put a link between the two of you.
Right.
You partner with them.
And
you partner with this person.
I can't tell you so many times when you have like met someone and you have an instant connection with them, and maybe we'll we'll be driving back from that show or that event, and you'll say, you know, I want to work with that person. Literally the next day they come by the booth and they're like, I want to work with you. I'm like, are you texting them behind the scenes just to like prove a point to me? Or like, how is this happening?
No,
but
it's really interesting information. And I'll let you, and certainly the next time Beth has, which may not be till next year, although, because I think the next thing she's running is about how to do an online event.
Right. And we might just keep that for ourselves.
Because we think we can do it too.
Right.
Big like this. So had a great time. Had a great time.
It was awesome.
Got some new mission statements.
Yes.
New clients, new people. So if you're listening in from Beth's event, welcome.
Yes.
And I hope you enjoy the astrology biz section.
Yeah.
It's hard to wrap your head around two at the same time. It's
right.
Especially to learn it.
Right, to learn it. But I think that, like, you know, especially when you have the experts to like just kind of tell you, okay, like this is what this means. You don't have to know the language of, you know, a gate and a line and a this or a that, or a trine and a sextile, or a, you know.
Right.
So here, that's what we do with the podcast. We're a bridge. We're there just to kind of break it all down for you so that you don't have to do the work. Mm-hmm. You don't have to look in the ephemeris and figure out the date and time that this is happening and how long it's going to be, and
when it happens again, and
right.
when it's
right.
Yeah.
That's what we do here. So anyway, a big shout out to Baeth Davis. Thank you so much for having us. Yes. Cue the applause. And so, yes, thank you for having us. We felt so proud and so honored to be the sponsor for this event. She kept it to one sponsor. She chose us. We're humbled.
You love
we're
how
excited.
That changed? Thank God we're Pisces, and she knows that.
Right.
And there was a schedule, and then there was a new schedule, and there's a new schedule week.
But that's how we work. We're
and the
easy
night before
like
we
that.
get a new schedule. And then all of a sudden, 2 hours before something, no, this is changing. We're going to go, and I'm getting these text messages, right?
And you were going to go live for 30 minutes.
and it's like, okay, we got something to say. Alex, quick, do some slides. We've got 10 minutes now where we only had 5. So now we got an extra minutes. I got to say something. I got to add on here.
Right.
So,
but it's also, we're talking about... We're talking about our business. We're talking about astrology. So, you know, thank goodness she wasn't like, okay, you're going to be teaching the human design gates, so make sure to have that ready. We would be like, goodbye.
And end.
Yes. So, anyway, thank you all for listening to our podcast. This is going to be the end of our episode this week, but tune in next week. We would love to hear your feedback, your reviews. Make sure to head over to iTunes for that. And if there's any questions, email me. I have a new email, alex@intentionbeats.com. We will see you next week.
But your old one still works.
My old one still works. info@intentionbeats.com as well. So we'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much. We'll see you at our events, and say goodbye.
Have a great sun attendance, free to roam.
And the search ends here, where the night is told.